Hi, this is Josh Wright, Business Development Manager here at Moehn Auto Group in Jackson, Michigan. Thank you so much for your interest in this 2018 Chevy Suburban LT. This vehicle has about 38,000 miles on it, in great shape. Doing this video because we've had several people showing interest in this specific vehicle. So just pointing out anything that I would want to know before, considering a late model pre-owned SUV. We're going to start off here in the front. So we have a silver ice metallic color that is like a metallic paint for silver. You also have the front headlamps, HID headlamps, great shape, no hazing or anything like that. Got a really nice chrome surround with a black honeycomb grille insert. Nice big Chevy bow tie there up front. As far as the front end, I don't see any chips or anything like that too significant. A couple of small scratches there in the front bumper. A little right there. Nothing too significant. This vehicle is going to have an 18-inch polished aluminum wheel with Michelin tires on it. Lots of good tread depth left on these, so nothing you'd have to worry about anytime soon. This LT actually has the running boards kind of built into the vehicle, so definitely not something that was added after the fact. So those are OEM. Trying to get a couple of different angles here on the exterior, so I don't see any door dings, dents, or anything significant like that. Let's go ahead and open up the interior here. This does have the LT with leather package, so you can see it's got the Bose emblems right there. This is actually leather covered. They've done a really nice job breaking up the black interior. They have kind of this contrast stitching here. They're wood grain that breaks that up a little bit. You do have a power seat on the passenger side. That is important to some buyers. Also see that contrast stitching here. The leather is in good shape. No tears, no rips or anything like that. A little map holder right there. We've got all of the original information here as far as the original purchase paperwork, owner's manual, things of that nature as well. You can see that leather wrapped dash, continues through here with that stitching. You do have heated seats on the passenger side located right there. Onto the second row, this does have the preferred 2-2-3 configuration, so that means you have 2 bucket seats in the front, 2 bucket seats in the second row, and then you have a third row behind that seats 3 for a total of 7 passengers in this vehicle. Leather in the second row is in great shape as well. You do have 110 volt AC outlet as well as rear HVAC controls right here for your second row passengers. Looks like about even wear, maybe even a little bit more on the rear tires, but like I said, nothing you have to worry about anytime soon. So this does have the trailering equipment included, so you do have your trailer hitch as well as the wiring harness located right there. A little bit of a gouge right there on the back. This does have a power lift gate, so we can actually open that a few different ways. There is a button on the inside of here. I'm going to use the key fob to demonstrate. That is the second way. And the third way is actually a button up towards the front. I'll go over that in just a second. The biggest reason you would go with a Suburban versus a Tahoe is this extra space behind the third row. There's also a little bit of space underneath this as well for some smaller things. Do have a AC outlet back here. There's also a couple of cup holders as well as another charging port there for your third row passengers. So if you have kids, hopefully that'll prevent them from fighting over the charging units for their cell phones and whatnot. You can also close the lift gate by pressing this button right here. Moving on to the driver's side. Like I said, as far as aesthetics, aside from a few small scratches, I'm not really seeing anything significant that I would be too concerned about. There is a little bit of a scratch there that's been touched up. Moving on to the interior of the driver's side. You do have power windows, you have power locks, power mirrors. These are memory seats for 2 different drivers. So if you have 2 drivers that want to have their own settings. That is now not just the settings for the seat, but it's also for the radio, some other preferences that get set that way as well. So power seat on the driver's side. Leather is also in great shape on the driver's side as well. No tears, no rips or anything like that. You can see here we do have automatic electronic headlamp control. Same thing with the 4x4 control. Couple of options. We have the traction control to manually turn that off. This does have a backup camera, but in addition to that, it has the rear park assist, or basically it beeps the closer you get to something. You can manually override and turn that off there. This is what's called lane departure warning. So it actually uses 2 cameras in the front of the vehicle to make sure that you're in your lane at all times. However, when there are some snow on the ground and some other things, it is nice to be able to turn that off if for some reason it keeps going off and it's kind of annoying you. So there is that option. We do have power adjustable pedals here as well. Moving on to some of the other features here. We'll go ahead and start the car up. So you can see 33,911 miles currently on the vehicle. You can see here you have your cruise control. This is for your forward collision alert. So it's got sensors in the front of the vehicle that'll actually alert you. This is to change how far away. So if you're somebody that gets pretty close to people, you can change it here. If you prefer more of a distance, you can modify that there. There's a lot you can do with the driver information center using the steering wheel. I'm not going to go too much into it just because there's a lot that you can do, but everything from changing audio sources, getting information like how long before you need an oil change, your tire pressure, things like that are all available in that colored driver information center. You do have an 8-inch touchscreen radio, kind of a cool feature. It is power. You can lift that up, and then it's got a nice cubby hole right there with a USB port that you can actually use. One of the better features that GM has come up with is the integration of Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. If you're not familiar with those programs, I highly suggest you Google and look into it. It's a fantastic option. It allows you to do things like use Android Maps or Google Maps, and Apple Maps for navigation purposes. There's a lot that you can do with it. Most people are preferring to go that route than even the onboard navigation, just because it's real time and it's using their cell phone. So if there's things like traffic and other things that may need real-time adjusting, it's going to go ahead and automatically do that for you, and that's of course no extra charge. You don't have to have the maps updated every year like you do with a normal navigation system. You do have a CD player located right here, one of the last vehicles you can still get a CD player in. Automatic HVAC, so you just set this just like a temperature at home, thermostat wise. It'll heat or cool to get to that temperature right there. You have a manual override for the second and third row passengers, so the rear HVAC is located right here. Heated seats are right here. You've got another charging port and then a couple of USB outlets. You have 2 cup holders and a nice big large center console here for more storage space. You also have an additional charging outlet. You have 2 USB outlets as well as an auxiliary port if you wanted to manually put that in and play music that way. You can see it does have OnStar capabilities. It does have a power sliding and tilting sunroof. It does function as needed. And this is the third way to control the power liftgate. So you can actually control this. Let's say you have a garage that you park in regularly. You can actually change this to 3/4, and what that'll do is limit the power liftgate from going up too high, from hitting the top of your garage or your garage door or something along that lines. You can actually push this button, it'll actually open the liftgate as well. So 3 different ways you can do that. It does have a backup camera as well as the alert seat. I don't know if you heard the vibration, but basically if there's something in front of you or behind you that you're getting too close to, it's going to actually send out a vibration in the seat to let you know. So as of right now, the vehicle is still available. If you have any questions or if you're interested in scheduling an appointment, feel free to reply to this email or give me a call directly. Again, this is Josh Wright, Business Development Manager here at Moehn Auto Group. My direct line is 517-841-7689, 517-841-7689. Again, it's Josh Wright with Moehn. Thank you.